Hey guys, how's it going? Well, I've gotten some responses on this particular outfit that I've got and this particular gun. It's a Masterpiece Arms and it's very nice. It's very heavy as well. And it's just a very, very good. It's a 45 ACP, and you wouldn't think that something like this would be accurate, and on its own it's really not. As it is right now, this is a 45 ACP. They do make them in different calibers. You can get them in 9mm. I think you can get them in 380. Masterpiece Arms, I'm not sure if they're still around. You know, I got this a long time ago. This is a semi-auto, and really it's no different than a semi-automatic pistol. You know, it does come with a good stick magazine, and what really makes this accurate, I've never had a misfire on this. People have asked me about that. The sights could be a lot better than they are, but when you're holding something this heavy, especially with something, this is a barrel extension, and on this barrel extension, there's a bushing here. It's a quick release bushing. Trying to get it here on the camera, but that's really where the accuracy comes in on this. I was real surprised, and I was surprised to make, well, they used to make a Cobra. Here's the actual, this is just called a barrel extension. They do make suppressors, but you need a tax stamp and all that stuff, and you know, for semi-auto, you know, this isn't something that I really, it's not something that you carry around every day, let's put it that way. But the barrel extension has a quick release on it, and it fits onto this. You have to disengage the bushing to get it on. Then there's a little indicator here, and you pretty much just turn it and it'll lock into place. But let me see, it's heavy. That's the thing. This is a very, very heavy gun. But that's where the accuracy comes in on this beast, is that extension. You've got an indicator right there, it tells you what you're doing. This is a laser, and it's pretty self-explanatory. The reason it's on here is because the sights aren't very good. I mean, they're all right, but at the same time, this gun really isn't made. If you put a collapsible stock on this, you run into legal issues, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. It's been a long time since I've been in and out of collecting guns for a long time. You know, I mean, oh gosh, well, 35 years. So, you know, it's a very good, it's a fun gun. It's a fun gun to shoot. A lot of people do good reviews. They do a lot better reviews on these pieces than I do. But the stick magazine I don't believe Masterpiece Arms still makes this. It's too bad that they don't. It does have a speed feeder that, you know, works halfway decent, but at the same time, you know, by the time you get this thing full, you know, it's pretty heavy, and the compression on this spring inside here is pretty darn tight. But I'll tell you one thing, I've never had a jam on this, and I've shot this thing a lot, and I've had a lot of fun with it. That's really what it's all about with this gun, is fun. And it's a very, very nice beast of a handgun, but really all it is just a semi-automatic 45 caliber ACP pistol. That's it. On what I do is I've got radio. VHF is very good for if you're out in the woods. This is a real nice piece to carry along. This is made by Microtech. It's called a Microtech LCC, and Lightfoot. Lightfoot is the maker of it. Serial numbered. Let's see, what is this? It says Microtech. Oh, my eyes just aren't that good. You can probably read it better than I can. It's got a 12 of 2002 is when it was manufactured. I'm not sure the coating on this. I know that the scales are carbon fiber. Let's see. Does it say? No, 200V. But it's got a nice coated blade. I've got one of these. What it is, it's a switchblade, but it actually looks just like a folder. Got a very nice clip on the back. Microtech makes some good knives. And this is a very, very difficult knife to get. They're very expensive now. They were very expensive back when I got it in, you know, in 2002. Well, 2003. I've had it for a long time. I've actually used this knife a lot. I carried it on and off the job, and I mean, you know, it was a great knife, and it still is. When it came out of the tube, the damn thing cut me, even though it had warning stickers on it. Thing's razor sharp, and it's still got a pretty good edge on it. I do have another one of these. It's brand new in the box with serrations on it. These were just too nice to pass up. But for a good, sturdy, you know, quick knife to deploy, that's really nice. Under here, oh yeah, by the way, on the Masterpiece Arms, this is what it came with, and it's a small barrel extension, and the accuracy is, you know, not very good with this. The longer the barrel, especially on a gun like this, the recoil is just almost nothing, because, well, especially when you've got that big barrel extension on, but this is just a regular barrel extension, and recoil is nothing on this either. You have enough weight on these things to you know, to really, it holds the gun down. 45 ACP doesn't kick as much as it would in a, you know, semi-automatic, but you know, the rounds are just, I don't go for, you know, these are just the standard, standard full metal jacket rounds. And they feed so well in this. I think I've got some shells. But you would think that this is a very budget-minded manufacturer, and 50 rounds, believe me, that goes through quick when you're shooting. But full metal jackets run so good on this. I've never had a misfeed ever, and that's really, really sweet not to have a misfeed. I do have batteries as backups for the laser. Got more than one. Earplugs, you really don't need them, but at the same time, if you're out shooting with other people, one guy, this is a Milt Sparks concealed carry holster. It's an inside the waistband. It's called a Versamax. It's got a metal reinforcement band on it. It goes all the way around here. I believe Milt passed away. I could be wrong. I go in and out of different collections and things like that. And I collect guns and I shoot guns, and but at the same time, guns are expensive to shoot. Ammo's expensive. Reloads and all that encompasses reloads are expensive. I really don't like messing with stuff like that. I know it's probably smarter to use reloads from an economical standpoint. This gun doesn't have anything in the chamber, but this is a Sig 229 in 40 cal, and what's nice about this is, well, a lot of things. It does have the tritium sights, or tritium sights, but I had this a long time, and the tritium, the glow is actually not as bright as it used to be. In fact, it's almost gone. So it wasn't a cheap option to begin with. But these are just really, really nice guns, and they break down so easy. And you can take this and you can switch it out, switch everything out, and you can have this. It was nice that they did make a 357 Sig, so you can. It does do double duty, and this is my primary carry. When I carry, I don't carry all the time. I don't really feel a need to, and I know that's awful controversial, but at the same time, if I'm going to the store, there's no point that I can see in monkeying around and strapping on a pistol every time I leave the house. But some people think that's a good idea. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. It just gets down to really where you're living, and and what kind of environment you're in. I really don't. I tend to stay away from trouble, and it does have a nice decocker on it, and both single and double action. And 40 cal will make an impression on anybody, believe me. They're good, very good for concealed carry. And I really hope that the time doesn't come and I can just see it with all the things that are happening in the news, with all these morons going out and doing all these mass shootings and bullshit like that. Every time I see that in the news, I just figure out, that's just one more bullet, to give the gun grabbers. I remember Springfield Armory used to make high capacity auto pistols, semi-auto pistols, and they actually had to retool their machine, or retool their machines for the high capacity. They had to knock it down. I got this before that happened. It only holds, I believe, 12 rounds, and I've just got Hydra shocks in here. At least I believe that's what they are. Yeah, Federal Hydra shocks. But you know, I mean, if you're if you're looking for, you know, something very that will actually, you know, drop someone, if you're going to shoot somebody with something to defend yourself, you know, in an emergency situation, a 40 cal is very good for that. You know, heaven forbid that you would need to, but yeah, just real nice SIGs. And you know, when this is in your inside the waistband, they do have some with clips that, you know, you can retrofit onto these if I'm thinking right. There are a few makers that make holsters like these. Well, there's tons, but Miltsparks Versamax, Miltsparks really makes some very, very good holsters, and I recommend, you know, when it comes to Kydex and stuff like that, nylon, I hate it. It's just the purist in me. I want leather, and you know, I want something that's going to last, and Kydex just doesn't seem to get the job done. I don't like that, and I don't like ballistic nylon. I just don't like it. And you know, again, controversial and, you know, all that, but really, really nice, nice gun. But yeah, getting back to this, you know, if you do want something like this, just to save myself the emails, you know, maybe you can find one on Guns America or Auction Arms. But really all it is just, you know, a semi-automatic Masterpiece Arms 45 ACP gun, and it's the manufacturer is in Carrollton, Virginia. I don't believe they make these anymore, but the cocking mechanism, if I can get it back there. For a semi-automatic gun, this is a big deal. It's very, very heavy. It's not unwieldy, you know, but at the same time, it kind of is. Because, I mean, I'm not really a weak guy, but at the same time, you know, these things are very heavy, and you get enough of this. That's what's nice about it too, though. I mean, the barrel extension and the weight of the gun, the weight of both of that combination really makes good. Your clip release is right here. Pull it down, slide it out, and your tap on and off for the laser may not be the most optimal thing, but at the same time it does work very, very well. And that button is in a good position for me for what I use this for. I'm not going to break this gun down anymore. But anyway, you guys wanted to see it, been asking about it. When you have a gun like this, you kind of need to keep it nice, and you know, I try to keep my gear nice as I can, and really, you know, when it gets right down to it, this doesn't stay in the case, because I do carry it a lot. If I go in the city, you know, if I'm out, it just kind of depends. You know, when I'm in the city, I do carry. So, you know, I mean, I carry at different times. It just kind of depends on the situation. But, you know, I'm not one of these guys that you know, thinks that you have to be armed to the teeth every time you walk out the door. You know, in this, the way society's getting, maybe that's not a bad idea. But, you know, at the same time, the safety is here. You've got the just, you know, it's very, very straightforward on this. Safe and fire. But, you know, like I said, it's not a full automatic weapon. Is it practical? No. But it's a lot of fun, and they're very good guns. So, you know, when you're looking for something like this, the best thing I can tell you is to go on Auction Arms or Guns America, and you'll probably be able to find one of these. You know, they really, really help with accuracy, and you would not believe how accurate that gun is. No misfeeds. I've never had a misfeed on this. I mean, I shot hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rounds through this. No misfeed at all. So, you know, as far as, I don't know, the Cobra, I believe that's the proper pronunciation of it. The Cobra, well, you know, it did have, it had issues with misfeeds. I was real skeptical when I got into, getting this item and literally pulling the trigger on it for the purchase. But yeah, you know, I really thought that it was going to be a problem gun, and you know, I've heard so many things about the the fact that these aren't very reliable in some different makes. But Masterpiece Arms does make this very, very reliable. You know, you can shoot this very, very fast. And, I mean, it's just a great gun if you're looking for something like this. But, at the same time, a 45 ACP, Kimber, you know, it will do the same thing. And it will do it without, you know, without all the pomp and circumstance of what these guns look like, and you know, as intimidating as they are and all that bullshit. You know, I'm not going to get into the politics of it all, but you know, I'd like to be able to, you know, be in a society where I don't have to deal with politicians that are, you know, going to impose restrictions on what I can and can't buy in the way of a handgun. But, you know, at the same time, you know, an assault weapon, this really isn't an assault weapon. It's a semi-automatic 45 ACP, you know, gun, that's it. But, you know, at the same time, just the looks of it is enough to probably, you know, I don't know, with all these killings going on and these nuts, you know, I don't know how they got guns in the first place, but you know, I kind of, you know, I wish I was there when they did it, you know, because I mean, wish I was there when they were at the counter, you know, and not sold, not had anybody, you know, let them walk out with a gun. Because, you know, anytime any of these mass shootings come around, what happens is, you know, the gun owners that are honest and, you know, that take responsibility for carry, for, you know, upkeep, for working on just any kind of aspect of gun ownership. You know, it's really a kick in the balls to all those people who really, really have good intentions. But, you know, I'm just wondering if there's going to be a time when, you know, when they are going to start. And in that last debate, you know, it was alluded to that, you know, they might knock magazine capacity down, and they might do away with the assault type weapons. Shit, you know, I mean, I've lived in England, and, you know, over there, stabbings, lots of them. And, you know, they get the job done. They do enough damage. Would you rather be stabbed, or would you stabbed to death multiple times, or would you rather be shot? You know, but I see the views on both sides. I can't, you know, I mean, it just seems like every time I turn around, there's another, you know, another headline, and it's too bad, you know, it's too bad that people are like that, and it's just a, you know, small, tiny amount of the people who are you know, from the people who are responsible to the people who are just plain batshit crazy, and, you know, it's a shame. But Milt Sparks, if you're looking for a very nice inside the waistband, this thing pretty much disappears, and it's very nice. The Versamax is made with very good quality. Yeah, I think Milt Sparks, I think he's been passed away for a long time. I'm not sure, but anyway, you guys wanted to see it. There it is. Like I said, before you start, you know, hammering me with emails about, hey, where do you get it? Where do you get it? Well, you're gonna have to get it online or at a gun shop. Gun shops may be a little bit more difficult to get them from. Online, you could probably, you know, find one. You'll still have to go through a gun shop and do all the paperwork and all that. But, you know, it's a small inconvenience, and you can wind up with a very nice, you know, very nice setup. 9mm, I think 380 ACP and 45 ACP. They may make them in other calibers, but this is the one I was after. But the Milt Sparks, this is a P229 Sig Sauer, and you know, it's a very, very reliable gun. And you know, you always carry more than one clip with you when you carry. But anyway, that's it. Take it easy, guys. Like I said, it's not fully automatic. Sure, there'll be a few thumbs down on there. I really don't mind. Makes no difference to me about voting and crap like that. Voting videos up or down, I really could care less. But, you know, at the same time, a lot of people have, you know, shown interest in these. So I thought I'd show it to you again. And I tell you, if you want a gun that will not jam, Masterpiece Arms really makes very good, very, very good guns in this type of configuration. But the Halliburton case is very nice to carry something like this in. You know, it's kind of, people don't know what you've got in here. Cameras, things like that, it could be anything. So it definitely does double duty for, you know, for a lot of different things. And I use it for a lot of different things. Anyway, take it easy, guys. Later on.